Hi, everyone. This is Ben from Math Online with Ben. I have the practice test 1 from the SAT College Board here open on the screen. I'm going to be going through the first just 10 questions here of the first part. In part 2, I'll go through the second half of the first section of this test. For this test, I'm going to keep a timer, and I'm chunking it up into 2 parts just to keep things reasonable. I don't think that cramming for hours and hours every day is the way to study for this test. I really think that just doing a few questions every day, throwing a full practice test here and there, that's really going to be your best solution for long-term success when you have the time to study. So I'm going to model that here. I'm going to run a timer for myself just so that I get used to that sense of being timed, and so that you also have a sense of what it's like going through these questions at a comfortable pace. So that being said, I'm going to start my timer and jump into these questions. Okay, so don't forget you have the formula reference sheet up here if we ever need it. And I'm just going to jump in here to number 1. So I see this, it's just asking me to substitute in a value for k and then solve for x. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to rewrite my equation with k substituted for. I can recognize that I need to multiply both sides by 3 to cancel this denominator. I'm trying to isolate the variable. We get x minus 1 equals 9. I add the 1 to both sides. We get x equals 10. Okay. Number 2, in the future, when I look at this question in my mind, I want to remember that I squared is equal to -1. In this question, I can see I'm not going to use it because we're not going to be multiplying any i's together. So this is just straight up addition of terms. So I can just add the constants, 7 plus -8, that's -1. And 3i plus 9i, we add that just like it's normal variable expressions or variable terms, we get 12i. So I look for that solution, I see it here just as answer A. Okay. So on Saturday afternoon, Armand sent M text messages each hour for 5 hours. Tyrone sent P text messages each hour for 4 hours. Which of the following represents the total number of messages sent by Armand and Tyrone on Saturday afternoon? Okay. So they give us a rate here, which is M texts per hour for 5 hours. So to find that the total number of texts, we take the rate times the time. So that is for Armand. And then for Tyrone, we have the same thing. We're given a rate, which is P, text messages per hour, times the number of hours. So that'll give us the total of Armand's or Tyrone's texts. And then we just have to add those together to get the total number of text messages. So it's common to write the constant first, or the coefficient first in front of the variable. So this is the answer I'm looking for, and I see it here as answer C. Okay. So here, Kathy is a repair technician for a phone company. Each week, she receives a batch of phones that need repairs. The number of phones that she has left to fix at the end of the day can be estimated with the equation P equals 108 minus 23D, where P is the number of phones left and D is the number of days she has worked that week. Okay, what is the meaning of the value of 108 in this equation? So I'm just going to skim through my answers and see if I can eliminate anything, what makes sense. So Kathy will complete the repairs within 108 days. Well, 1, she's working within a week. D is the number of days, not 108. So this feels off to me. Kathy starts each week with 108 phones to fix. Well, I'm going to explore that. If D is the beginning of the week, if D is 0, she's worked 0 days, then P, which is the number of phones left, is 108. So if before she starts working, the number of phones is 108, that's another way of saying that Kathy starts each week with 108 phones to fix. So I feel confident with that answer. You can read through C and D yourselves to see why those are not going to be correct answers. Okay, so I'm also just keeping track of the time, 4 minutes here, question 4. So because I'm talking, I'm maybe a little behind the clock, but I feel pretty comfortable so far here. All right. Which of the following is equivalent to the expression above? So this is just combining like terms. One big thing is I want to keep track of this negative sign. So all of this is going to be distributed in. So we're going to have x squared y minus 3y squared plus 5xy squared plus x squared y minus 3xy squared and plus 3y squared. All right. So now I'm looking for my like terms. So I see x squared y, x squared y. This is going to give me 2x squared y. Already I can see 2 of my answers are wrong. The next things I see here are a negative 3y squared and a positive 3y squared. So these just cancel out completely. Here I can see we don't have this term. So already I know it's C. I'm just going to add one last term to make sure that that's correct. So 5xy squared minus 3xy squared is 2xy squared. And I can see that C is going to be my answer. Okay. Number 6, a pediatrician uses the model above to estimate the height h of a boy in inches in terms of the boy's age a in years between the ages of 2 and 5. Based on the model, what is the estimated increase in inches of a boy's height each year? So the SAT loves to test these kinds of questions. They're just testing if you know what slope is in context. So from the classic y equals mx plus b, they're just asking if you know this m value in the context of a problem. So here, the rate of change is always in front of what's being measured in time. So the estimated increase in inches of a boy's height each year is 3. Okay. Number 7, this looks pretty big and complicated, but I'm just going to read for the information and see if I can kind of create make sense out of this. So the formula above gives the monthly payment M needed to pay off a loan of P dollars at R% annual interest over N months. Which of the following gives P in terms of M, R, and N? All right. So pretty quickly, I realize just in reading this last sentence, which of the following gives P in terms of these other variables? So what this equation means doesn't matter to me. I just need to solve for this variable. When I look at this big equation, you can always simplify things like, oh, if I had 2 over 3 times P equaling M, how would I solve for that? Well, I would just multiply by the reciprocal. So if I have 2 over 3, I would multiply by 3 over 2. So even though this is the kind of a big, monstrous looking thing, I can just multiply by the reciprocal. So I'll just multiply by R over 1200 times 1 plus this mess. And in the numerator, we have 1 plus R over 1200 to the n minus 1. So basically, this is what I'm looking for times m, just the reciprocal of what was given. So here I see the denominator and the numerator. I see the numerator and the denominator and all of that times m. So this looks like my answer. I'm just going to quickly see if I can identify what's wrong with the others. So the denominator stays. And these two, they simplified, but in a way that that we can't do directly because of this minus 1. So we can't just cross these out. Okay, so I feel pretty confident with that answer. I'm going to carry on. All right, so if a over b equals 2, what is the value of 4b over a? So I'm looking at this. I have an a over b, but I want a b over a. Well, I can do that. There's two ways I can do that. I can see that I can think of this as putting all of this over 1. And 1 over a over b is going to come out as b over a. And you can do the arithmetic on that and confirm it. You can also think of this as solving. So if you have a over b equals 2, you can multiply both sides by b, divide by a. So these cancel out on this side. We get kind of spilling over here, but we would get 1 equals 2b over a. And then here you could actually use this to solve, but if you just want to solve for b over a first, we can divide both sides by 2. We see that 1/2 equals b over a. So there's a few ways to get that b over a is equal to 1/2. So regardless of how you get there, once we see what we're being asked for b over a, well, we can just multiply both sides by 4. That'll give us our 4b over a on the left side, and 4 times 1/2 is just 2. All right. So I can see I have 2 more questions. I've hit that 10-minute mark. I know I'm talking a little bit, so again, I'm not too worried, but I'm just going to try to finish these 2 problems out here. So here they're asking us for a system of, or they're asking us for a solution to the system of equations. I'm probably going to, I can either use substitution, like solve for this x, or I can do elimination. I'm probably going to do elimination here. So 3x plus 4y equals -23. I'm going to reorient this, and I'm going to multiply it by a -2. So the x is going to come out as positive 2x. The y is going to be -4 because I want those to cancel. And this is going to become a positive 38. So now I can just add these up. This is going to be 5x. These cancel, equals, what is that? 13? 13. All right. Well, something feels a little off here then. Oh, 38, not 36. Okay. So I noticed I was going to get a fractional answer. None of my solutions are fractions, so I just double checked my arithmetic. 2 times 19 is 38, not 36. This will give me 15 positive, so I get that x equals 3. That's great because I don't even have to solve for the y value. This is the only answer that has x equals 3. All right, home stretch here, number 10. So for the function g defined above, a is a constant, and g of 4 equals 8. What is the value of g of -4? All right, so there's kind of a cute way to solve this question. The cute way is we see that 4 squared is going to be 16. If we plug in -4, we're also going to get 16. So whether we plug in 4 or -4, the rest of the function is going to work the same. So we're going to get a value of a, or a value of 8, which is answer A. Now, if you wanted to confirm this with a little bit more certainty, what you can do is you can plug in 4 and 8 for x and y. So 8 equals a times 4 squared plus 24. And you can solve for a. So this is going to be 16. So 8, I'm going to subtract the 24. 8 minus 24 equals 16a. We can divide by 16, divide by 16. This is what a is equal to. And then, so let's just simplify that. What is it? 3/2. So now you have the a value. You can plug this in for a, and then also plug in -4 and see what you get out. So that would be the alternative method. Okay. So that felt pretty good to me. It was just about 15 minutes for 10 questions. Of course, I'm going through a little bit of extra dialogue, but overall, you get a little bit of a sense of the pace. Hope this video is helpful for you. You can always give the video a like and subscribe to help me out, and catch the next part where I go over the next 10 questions of this practice SAT section. Take care.